everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the vlog. So in today's episode we will be working on the fuel system. So we're going to connect up all the fuel system, put the fuel pressure regulator back in, and hopefully go for a first start. So let's crack on with today's episode. Okay, back on the TTS, and today we're going to basically get our fuel system back up and running. So we got our canister. Here is our fuel flow. That's where the fuel comes in. So we're going to go into this pipe here, and then we've got our outlet. It's going to come on this top pipe here. We also need to put in our pressure regulator. That needs to go in, and then we need to connect the pressure regulator up, and then that way we've got a sealed system. So a few things to do, and then obviously we're going to get to the back. We've also got some electrical that we need to sort out, so we need to get our alternator wired up, back it together, and then hopefully with all that in place we're going to give it a little test start. Yes, so let's crack on with, first of all we'll start off with getting our fuel lines back on. Right, so now you remember this that we broke last week, this pipe here. Well, it actually had a spare, so I didn't actually order one. Here we go. So what we're going to do, we're going to take that off, and we're going to put him in. So I think we'll do him first before we do the pressure regulator, because I think something tells me it might be easier to do it like that way. So let's get that sorted now first. Right, water pipes now back on. Time for the fuel regulator. Okay, so we've got our pressure regulator in place, so we just got to put these cables in. Let's put them in. There's that one there, that one here, and that one here. Good. Right, so next we need to start looking at the pipe work around here. So we've got some water coolant pipes to put in, so we'll need to discover that. We've got a water pipe here that needs to be fitted. That goes down to there, and then we've got another pipe that goes there. Then that's all our water pipes. I think we've then got no, I think that's it. So all our fuel systems all connected up, as we can see. Just connect that up, separate those pipes, stop them from rubbing, and then that's that one sorted. here we go. So that's in place. Yeah. We still got some electricals that we need to do as well, so we'll get those done. I've got this pipe here, so basically here we got a pipe that goes all the way down to the filler holes there. We've got that pipe, that's on the engine block, so we need to get that in, and I think we're kind of airtight now. I think once we get to, I think we just got another sensor, and I've got to figure out where that plug is here as well. I've got this cable here, so you'd think that will go there, but I don't think that reaches, unless it could be that this goes underneath there, then potentially that might reach. Don't think there's any other cable that goes there, so this must be for there. Yeah, I think that might be the case. Yep, that is. Now, the one mistake that I made with this engine, which I normally never do, but on this occasion I did, I don't know why. I normally document where all these cables come from, because I know you're looking at this now. I'm thinking, how do you work out where everything goes? Well, normally, like I said, you will document that so that you know exactly what cable goes where. I forgot to do that on this in my haste, so now we're paying for it. But I have been using the wiring diagram, so I can basically check the colors. You can see the colors there. And then from there I'm able to then check to see if it goes in to the right plug. And with the wiring loom, the way it works is normally as you start to put stuff around, you find that actually it won't go any other way. So like here, this goes here because there's nothing else around here. This I had to have a look at some pictures, and then it's essentially you just basically work it out. So this will go into something into the radiator. We do have this cable as well. I need to figure out where that one goes, but again, I'm assuming it goes into something else because there's nothing else underneath here that has not been plugged in. So yeah, so don't make that mistake. Make sure you do document everything. Like I said, I normally do, but for some reason today I didn't. All right, let's feed this underneath this pipe. So we'll just disconnect that, feed that through the middle here, and then that should feed into there. Right, we are definitely getting there. So we've got all of this wired up. So we just need to do a couple of water pipes. So we need to get this water pipe over here, and then we need to get this water pipe over here. There we go. So we get those two done, and then we might be in a position to actually turn the engine over, maybe. I think what we need to do though, first of all, is, well, I wonder if we should do it. Let's do it without the spark plugs. Yeah, we'll do it without the spark plugs. So we'll get these couple of pipes in, then we'll give the engine a quick turn over and see how she performs, see if she turns. Okay, so we've got most of the major components in place. These, I know these go into the sensors, into the induction. Now, we will attempt to do a startup. I don't know if we're going to achieve that, because obviously we've got no turbo pipe connected and we need the radiator in front, but we should be able to do a turnover at least. That's the main thing I want to do. We've connected up this pipe down here, which is really tricky, but we've got that sorted. Here's the inlet pipe for the turbo. We've still got, I don't know where this goes at the moment, but I will find out and they will plug it in. So that's obviously going to cause us a problem. So that's the reason why we're just going for a turnover. Plus we haven't got the exhaust connected because we still ain't got the prop shaft, but it's kind of a rock and a hard place. I can't connect the turbo up until we get the car turned over. So I want to make sure that it does turn over and that at least we got all the connections right. So we need to get that sorted. But before we do any of that, oil. This engine has got no oil in it, so we're going to change out the oil filter and then we're going to fill it up with oil. So let's do that. Okay, so we're going to check. This should be empty, but got our bucket here just in case that there's oil in here. So what we'll do, we'll undo this little cap here. They're all different on the Audis, aren't they? So we'll undo that, and underneath here we should see a little cap. Now there's a tool that you can use to push that open, but we're just going to use a little screwdriver. There we go. Yep. And as you can see, there's oil in there still. So let's just drain that out. Yeah, let me drain that out and then we'll come back and then undo it. Okay, so we've got all the oil out. Now we're going to need to take this off. It's a 36mm socket. Stick that on there. Oh, cool, that was tight. Okay. Yeah, it's tighter than what it should have needed to be. But anyway, let's get that off. There we go. And there's our cartridge. So we get rid of him. And then we'll just get our new one, stick that in there, and then we're good to go. So here's the new filter. But before we put the new filter in, we've got to take out the little rubber gasket in there. There we go. So we take him out. And then once you take him out, replace him with your new one. Slippery little sucker, aren't you? Hold on a second. Here we go. Right. Here's our new one. And we've got a little tab. So we make sure our little tab's in place. Then we just squeeze him in. And that is that. Oil filter. Okay. That's in place. Then we stick him back in. And then we give him a little tighten. Just not as tight as he was before. There you go. And then you just put the cap back on. And that'll stop any drips from coming out from down below. You know, in all the years I've been working on Audis, I've never seen this design. There you go. Alright, now let's top her up with oil. 4.5 litres is what this engine takes, so let's give her that. Right, oil time. Nothing special in the oil. No leaks, which is good. So I'll fill her up and then after we'll have a review of what we've done. Right, so this key we're going to power up for the first time. We're going to see if we've got any fuel leaks, and then we're going to turn the engine over for the first time. This will be actually our first test to see if this engine is good, because we might have bought a lemon, and if we have, then we're really in trouble. Okay, let's get this over with. Okay. Right, powered off. Okay, I did hear something. I think that was fuel going through the system, but there's no leaks. Doesn't look like it. We'll give it a proper inspection, then we'll come back to you. Okay, so the good news is that she works. Engine turns over, and I can smell fuel as well. So that's the next good news. And there's no leaks, so nothing's leaking. But actually, I say there's a but. There's no but. But what I want to do is do a compression test. So let's check all the cylinders and see where we are. If we get a good compression, then I'll be happy. So let's do that. Right, so this is number one. So number one is just at just above 7. So that's within tolerance. Let's check number 2. Okay, number 2 is less, but it's still within tolerance. Tolerance is between 7 and 13 bar for this engine. So we are literally just on 7 on this one. So this one is at tolerance, but a compression test is not as more accurate as a leak test, but okay, we're okay with that. Let's try number 3. Number 3 is the same, 7, right on the limit. And here's number 4. So number 4 is above 7 as well. So we're all good. So that's the final one. So that's a relief. This engine is all good and we're in a good place. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to start this engine today because we've got too many things that are left to be done. Even though we've made quite significant progress, we still need to put on the charge pipe and connect that to the ignition, the turbo, and then we need to then obviously put the mass sensors, etc., which is what all these spare cables are. So starting up this episode isn't going to happen, but it will happen on the next. But the main thing is that the engine turns over and we've got good compression, so we don't have the same problems we had last time, and we are making some fine progress here. So next week is going to be that magic startup, so do not miss that. Do not miss that at all. Right, let's summarize what we've done today. Okay, so we didn't get it started today, but we are so close. We are so close, and definitely in next week's episode we will be getting the car started. But the good thing is, car turns over no problem, and more importantly, we've got an even kill with our pressure, our compression over the engine. So between the tolerances are between 7 and 13. 7 is the wear limit, so we're pretty close. But don't forget, this is a 10-year-old car, so you would expect it to be where it is. But more importantly, there should be no more than a 3 bar difference between the different cylinders, and we're getting a consistent between 7 and 8 bar, which is absolutely perfect. So we got a good one so far. That doesn't mean it's going to start, but we'll find it out next week. So next week, that's what we're going to be doing, getting that engine started, and then we're good to go. So in the meantime, if you are a casual viewer, please consider subscribing down below and clicking on the bell notification. Now, subscribers don't mean much in terms of this. We don't earn money with subscribers. That's the ad revenue that goes in between. But what it does do is it shows potential advertisers that this is a growing channel and that they would want to invest, showing products, etc., more particular cars. That's what we're interested in, hence why the channel called Cars for Paul. So if you are a casual viewer, and there's quite a few of you who are, please consider subscribing, because it will be much appreciated. Don't cost you anything to do so, you just got to click on that button. So next week, engine starts, and then hopefully after that we can quickly get it back on the road and get that first road test. Wouldn't that be a fine thing? Stay tuned and we'll see you in the next one.